Good morning, dear hearts. Congratulations, we've made it to another new special thought. This one happens to be, what is creation? If you've not yet done so, please hit that subscribe button. I appreciate that. So this special thought of what is creation will guide us for the next 10 days. What I am going to do, as I have been doing, is dedicate today's video, part of it to this special thought and part of it to today's actual lesson. And I will continue to be coming back to what is creation throughout our next 10 lessons so that we understand and weave them together, because as I've said, the special thought isn't simply a standalone thought. It is expanded with each of the next lessons that follow it. So what is creation? Creation is the sum of all God's thoughts, in number infinite and everywhere without all limit. If you're looking at the book, thoughts is capitalized because God's thoughts are eternal. They do not change. They do not shift. They do not end. They are always there. God's thoughts, creation, is infinite in number, filled with wonder, and filled with love, because only love creates, and it only creates in the exact same form that it is. It is whole and it is perfect. It is unconditional. That is the sum of what love is, and that is how it will continue to unfold, expand, and come forth for us, that we will at one moment really recognize what it is. The lesson, the special thought, goes on to say that there was no time when all that love it created was not there, nor will there be a time when anything that love created suffers any loss. Forever and forever are God's thoughts exactly as they were and as they are, unchanged through time and after time is done. Through time is that even though there was the thought of separation and God's thought fell into that separate thought, that separate state, belief in it, it never changed God's thoughts. It never changed creation. It never changed the sonship. We are exactly as we were created. When that occurred, we are indeed still limitless. We have nothing that will hinder us, nothing that will restrict us. We have all that is ever required for us to know, remember who we are. Now, the second paragraph, it says, God's thoughts are given all the power that their own creator has. You might remember that yesterday's lesson was, my Father gives all power unto me. Again, this is the amazing weaving of this modern day spiritual work. This is a scripture, a spiritual scripture, but a modern day one. And this is so cohesive and so consistent that every single part is contained in the whole. And that is one of the reasons it is so repetitive. It is holographic. We've mentioned this before. So in each part, the whole is contained. This is why if we truly understood even one part, one sentence perhaps, certainly one lesson of this course, we would understand all of it, because it doesn't shift and change. It is consistent, it is constant, and it is always weaving into our spiritual tapestry of truth that is being woven and presented for us to embrace. Today's actual lesson is lesson 321. Father, my freedom is in you alone. Well, creation is freedom because we were created free. We were created, again, limitless. We were created with power. And we know that in many cases, power is seen as giving us freedom. And we have the power of God. We have the power of love within us. It is part of our inheritance. And again, nothing will ever change that. The lessons, Father, my freedom is in you alone, and it starts with the prayer portion that says, I did not understand what made me free, nor what my freedom is, nor where to look to find it. Father, I have searched in vain until I heard your voice directing me. And God's voice will always direct us. Where will we find our peace? Where will we find our freedom? Where will we find God's never-ending, consistent, expansive love for us? Where do we find that? Of course, it says that I've looked everywhere, but I haven't found it. And it reminds me of a parable, which I've mentioned before. I've mentioned last year with this lesson, of like the two mischievous angels, and saying that where will we place the freedom, the recognition of love within this being? And of course they say, we'll put it in space. Oh no, they'll find it there. We'll put it in the ocean. They'll find it there. And then we'll put it within them, because they'll never look there. And that is where we have not looked. And now we get to do that. We get to look within, because that is where everything resides. God doesn't reside outside of us. God is within. Love isn't outside of us that we go looking for it. It is within. All that we want, all that we seek, all that we treasure in this world are the thoughts that are already within us. So the prayer continues that now I would guide myself no more, for I have neither made nor understood the way to find my freedom, but I trust in you. You who endowed me with my freedom as your holy Son will not be lost to me. Your voice directs me, and the way to you is opening and clear to me at last. Father, my freedom is in you alone. Father, it is my will that I return, and it must be my will, because I cannot be dragged into enlightenment. One of my little sayings is, no one has ever been dragged into enlightenment kicking and screaming. We go willingly with open minds and open hearts, coming home to our Father, coming home where we've never left, coming home to creation and our recognition of it. So that is going to be it for today. Please be here tomorrow, and we will continue more about creation and more of the daily lesson. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment. Please let me know if this is making sense. I hope it is. And again, please be here tomorrow. Namaste.